Okay, welcome to another lesson on phrasal verbs with off. We're going to kick off with, now I hope you know kick off. Kick off means start a football match, but we very often use it to mean start anything. So we will kick off with break something off, okay? Now, when you break something off, it's always a relationship. You can break off a marriage, you can break off an engagement. Yeah, break something off, it's always a relationship. But it's usually marriage or engagement, those two. But you could break off your relationship. Maybe you're just boyfriend and girlfriend and you decide to break it off. That it means your relationship. It's referring back to your relationship. And I want you to compare break a relationship off or a marriage, or break the marriage off, or break the engagement off, with break up with somebody. Yeah, I broke up with her, we broke off our relationship. But when you talk about the relationship itself as a subject, you say our relationship broke down, our marriage broke down, our engagement broke down. Okay, so look at it. I mean, and that could even be for friendship. Our friendship broke down. I suppose it works, but it's normally relationship, marriage or engagement. And the same here, it's normally relationship, marriage or engagement. Okay, so break off a relationship, but the relationship breaks down, and break up with somebody. Now, if you use any of these three with no object, they all mean sleep for a little while. Yeah, if you doze off in the middle of the lecture, well, it sounds like it was a boring lecture. Or you might just be really tired and you might just feel as though you're going to nod off at any second. You're going to drop off at any second. So all three of those mean sleep. Now, if you finish something like a lesson off with something like a test, yeah, let's finish the lesson off with a test. Let's finish the lesson off with a phrasal verb quiz. Yeah, let's wrap, or maybe wind, but I do prefer wrap. Let's wrap the lesson up with a test. Yeah, these are the same. Finish something off with and wrap something up with. They are exactly the same. Yeah, and it means let's finish with. You can just say that, by the way. Let's finish with a test. Let's wrap the lesson up with a test. Let's finish this lesson off with a test. Okay, exactly the same. Now, these ones are interesting. When you shrug something off, remember, shrug your shoulders is this. Yeah, and when you shrug something off, it means that you treat that something as though it isn't important. And look how visual some of these phrasal verbs are. Yeah, look at what I'm doing when I'm shrugging. I'm treating something as if it's not important, right? So when you shrug something off, and it collocates very well with criticism, yeah, you can shrug the critics off. You can shrug criticism off. Yeah, I think it's normally something rather than somebody, although brush is certainly both. But when you shrug the criticism off or shrug the comments off, it means you say, they're not important. Yeah, they are not important. They're water off a duck's back, we also say. When somebody insults you and it doesn't upset you in any way, we say, oh, for me, it's nothing. It's water off a duck's back. I can shrug off those insults. They're nothing to me. I can shrug them off. So you shrug off insults, you shrug off criticism, and it's when you treat those insults or that criticism as though it were not important at all. Now, very similar is brush something off. And normally this has the very physical and real meaning of maybe a fly lands there on your t-shirt and you brush it off. Yeah, maybe some powder, like, I don't know why that would happen, but gets on your t-shirt and you just brush it off. Yeah, so when a fly lands on you and you brush it off, you are treating it as though it were nothing, as though it were a tiny little thing. Yeah, it's just an unpleasant thing that's slightly annoying you. Now, I want you to remember that, because I think these are very similar. When you brush, and this could be used with either. It could be something like he brushed the criticism off, in which case it's exactly the same as shrug it off. Brush the criticism off as though it were nothing. But you can also brush somebody off. And this is when they want something from you, but you get rid of them with some kind of, well, because you don't think that they're important, you just decide to brush them off. And it means get rid of somebody